Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, hype, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, this message is strictly for the divine feminine at this time. I want to talk to you all in regards to how your glow up is getting ready to highlight new levels, right? You're going to shine. You're going to become more creative. You're going to start pursuing more creative projects, and you're going to do it with confidence. And you're going to see these creative ideas actually manifest and attract wealth into your life. And this is going to encourage you to keep going. It's going to encourage you to really shine, to thrive, and to pursue other ideas. It's like you're going to see a lot of expansion. And so, whereas in the past, if you had a potential of self-sabotage, you might have been very creative, but you never really pursued those ideas, or you might be very talented, but you never really showed those talents to others outside of your intimate circle. Now your confidence is at an all-time high. And you're like, okay, I'm going to just be me. I'm going to be authentic, transparent, confident. You could even be changing the way that you look. You could be expressing yourself very differently, but this is your authentic nature that many people never really got a chance to see out of maybe fear of judgment, maybe being shy, maybe, being overly critical of yourself. That is no longer a factor for you. And so what comes along with this is very beautiful things. But of course, there's the polarity to everything, right? So on the other side of this, you're going to find that there will be other women who you might have had around you for a particular period of time. You might have shared certain ideas with. You might have even shared some of your successes with, some of the things that you are getting ready to embark on. You might anticipate or expect that they're going to be happy for you because y'all had a certain type of relationship for that period of time where you thought maybe they was a genuine friend or a genuine family member, whatever the case may be. But you're getting ready to see something very different in a lot of these people, women specifically. And it's because your next level up is presenting a new version of you that they're not accustomed to. They were far more comfortable when you dimmed your light and you didn't fully express your essence. They were far more comfortable when, even though you had the potential to look far better, you didn't really do much, right? You just kind of, I'm not too worried about it. But now, consider we're looking at the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands is very confident. She's very expressive in her creative nature in terms of how she presents herself to the world. She's very unique in how she dresses. She's unique in how she wears her hair, how she walks, how she talks, like very, very confident. No one will look at you and say that you lack confidence, not by any measure. And so there are women who were around you before that thought, well, they felt comfortable because you wasn't really expressing your best self, right? You kind of minimized yourself in their presence. And so this is going to cause them to take off masks, y'all. Consider we are in the age of Aquarius. And being in the age of Aquarius, this is the age of I know. And so you cannot remain in the dark about those people who secretly hope that you would never see your fullest potential. These types of people have to be exposed. And at this point, they have to expose themselves. But also considering that as the Queen of Wands energy, you are highly intuitive. Your spiritual gifts are very heightened and they're going to become even more heightened. And so you will be able to detect those things that are unspoken. You will be able to see those things that are not necessarily presented to you through your natural eyes. So you're going to start to look at certain people And you're going to pay attention to some of those subtle remarks, those undertone expressions, you know. You tell them about the good things that's happening for you, and they're just like, okay, that's good, girl. But you sense that there's something else behind that that says, I hope that you don't succeed. You don't want to, ignore your intuition when it comes to these things, because not everybody can embrace your transformation, divine feminine. It's very inspirational to many. Make no mistake. Your transformation is very inspirational to many. But for those who was accustomed to seeing you in a particular light, there will be many who will expose their hand and let you know, you stepping too far outside of that area that kept them comfortable, that kept them feeling safe, that kept them feeling like they were the highlight, like they knew it all, or they were the ones that had the gifts. And, so now that you are openly and boldly expressing these things about yourself, these women, they're going to start to feel some type of way, y'all. And you're going to find that you're going to have to start making more cuts. Now, consider the Queen of Wands has no problem with cutting folks off. Because now in this newfound energy, your confidence levels are at an all-time high, where you know that you can manifest, you can attract, you can create. And because you're going to be so distracted with just focusing on your creative nature, focusing on those natural gifts, because you're going to be so distracted there, you're barely going to even notice the absence of these women who now are expressing this jealousy towards you because of who you are. So just consider, this is the next level up. This is the next level up. And your confidence is going to speak volumes. Like, you're going to be taking off in ways that no one ever saw coming. And like I said, many of these women, because they have known you for a time, they were very well aware of your potential. They knew that you could, and these are just examples. They knew that you were very good with fashion, right? You could put an outfit together and look like $1 million and you went thrift shopping. They knew that you were very good at art. You could paint the most beautiful murals and portraits, but you never really showed anybody these gifts because you was, putting it on the back burner or overly consumed in other areas of life, or maybe even feeling like you didn't possess what it took to sell these things. They knew that you could sing. They knew you could dance. They knew that you could write poetry, that you were great at advising others. Like, they knew these things about you because they were close to you. But their subconscious mind never really wanted you to express these things openly, because they understood that the moment that you felt confident enough to express these gifts, you would attract a certain level of wealth. You would attract a certain amount of attention. You would attract a certain level of confidence that will begin to exude from within you outwardly. And all of these things will make them look at themselves and realize that, even though in their mind they felt a sense of superiority when you were still hiding your light, they're going to start looking at themselves and realizing they really haven't done the work. They really haven't earned their position to reach the next level. Some of these beings was piggybacking off of the light that you dimmed within yourself. They saw the light, they drew on it, they siphoned on it. They harvested that energy, and they used it to make themselves feel more bold, make themselves feel more confident and more creative. But now that you've taken your light back and you are boldly expressing it without, you're not here to coddle anybody's feelings. You're not here to, say, hey, I don't want to shine too bright because I don't want that person to feel like, I'm outdoing them or XYZ. Now you're like, hey, it's not about nobody else's feelings. It's about you being who you are naturally. So not only are you going to find that there's jealousy that comes from these people, but you will also find that you will get a lot of people that try to emulate and imitate your energy. For sure. That copycat energy is coming out a lot as of late. And I strongly sense it's because, we're leaving out of the year 9. The year 9, it deals with the hermit energy in the tarot deck, right? And so year 9 is like you're finding yourself, you're exploring, you're diving deeper, you're doing a lot of inner work, maybe even spent a lot of time in hermit mode, just going within, reflecting. But consider that once you come out of hermit mode, that's where you take that cloak off. That's when you begin to express yourself from a totally different angle. And when people get accustomed to you being in the shadows and now you're stepping out into the light, this is very, very scary for a lot of these beings, okay? And so just consider that we are in a new time now. This season of hiding and dimming your light is coming to a close. This is specifically for those of you who have been doing the work all year, okay? Some of you will say, well, I've been doing the work even prior to this year. You've been doing it for quite some time now. Well, we're getting ready to move into year 1, 2026, year 1. Okay, brand new beginning. It's a brand new you. It's a brand new day. The sky's so blue. I don't know who the hell sung that. I think, was that LL Cool J? Okay, I think that's, I'm going to love you better. Yeah, you loving on yourself far better now because you see your value and you're not afraid for others to see it. And so this is a new foundation that's being laid. And of course, the reason why a lot of people are going to have to show their hand in terms of the envious spirit that they have towards this new version of you, they have to show it this year. Because this is year 9. This is the year of closing out old chapters. So you can't take these false karmic contracts, these false karmics, you can't take them with you in this next 9-year cycle. They don't belong there. They don't belong because all they will do is trample all over every seed that you plant. And the more that you glow up, the more that you step into your creativity and you're inspiring others and your name is getting out there and your creative ideas are getting attention and things of that nature, the more that they're going to be sending an evil eye, hoping that you'll fail and that you'll go back to that old version that kept them comfortable and feeling safe. And so this is why a lot of these connections will have to be put to rest. Especially for those beings that's going to want to take on your essence because they envy it so much that now they want to be you, but they don't want to acknowledge you. Okay? So you'll have a lot of people that's going to try to take on your assignments, that's going to try to do what you do, that's going to try to express themselves like you and talk like you and walk like you and dress like you. And it's like, oh my goodness. It's going to get to the point where you have to remove yourself because the energy will become so toxic that it'll be palpable. And like I said, even if they don't express these things to you directly, because many of them will not, your intuitive nature will pick up on these cues. And you'll know that it's time to take action into a totally different direction because new beginnings are coming in. Okay? You are being handed that Ace of Wands and you're being called to pour your energy, your focus, your creativity, your love into these new visions here. You will see lots of growth. And as a result of seeing growth, it's going to increase your confidence. So you're just going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. I even detect that the clothes that you wear, if you used to wear like all black or like all dark colors, that's getting ready to change too. Because the brighter your auric field, the more you're going to want to stand out. You're not going to want to be in the shadows anymore. You're not going to have a problem as this Queen of Wands is wearing this yellow dress. You're not going to have a problem putting on a yellow dress. You're not going to have a problem wearing things that makes you stand out or that accentuates your features or, putting on jewelry or doing your hair in a particular way because you are loving on yourself. And it's no longer about dimming your light so that other people won't think, oh, she thinks she all of that or, oh, now what you doing this for? No explanation is needed. You're simply exuding outwardly what you feel inwardly and it's going to show. So just consider that, divine feminine. You will see the true nature of a lot of your false friends or false women that are in your energy. You will be called to release them, and you will. And this is actually going to be a large component that allows you to really soar and for you to really see forward movement in certain areas of your life when it comes to your wealth, your creative pursuits, you know, and just your growth in all areas of your life. Is going to be necessary to release these types of people so that you can really thrive. So don't hesitate when you start to sense that energy coming from these beings. Don't hesitate to cut them off, y'all. So that's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all next time.